Many people believe they are preparing for success when they spend hours thinking about every possible outcome. They tell themselves they are being responsible, careful, and intelligent. They convince themselves that if they think just a little longer, they will eventually discover the perfect answer. At first, this seems wise because planning is important and making thoughtful decisions has value. But there is a hidden danger that quietly grows beneath endless thinking. What begins as preparation slowly becomes fear wearing a different face. Instead of helping you move forward, it quietly keeps you standing in the same place. It creates the comforting illusion that progress is being made, even when nothing in your life is actually changing. Fear rarely announces itself with loud words. It does not always say you are not good enough, or you should never try. Instead, it whispers questions that sound reasonable. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if there is a better opportunity tomorrow? What if you are making the wrong choice? What if you are not ready yet? These questions seem harmless, but when you allow them to repeat day after day, they become invisible chains that hold you back. You begin believing that one more day of thinking will somehow remove all uncertainty. Yet uncertainty has always been part of every meaningful journey. Imagine someone standing at the edge of a road, wanting to cross. They spend hours watching every car, every movement, and every possibility. They wait for the perfect moment when there is absolutely no risk. That perfect moment never arrives because life is constantly moving. While they continue watching other people cross the road and continue their journeys, the difference is not that others have less fear. The difference is that they understand waiting forever is often more dangerous than taking a careful step forward. Overthinking creates a false sense of productivity. After spending an entire day thinking, your mind feels exhausted. You believe you have worked hard because your brain never stopped racing. Yet when you look at your life, nothing has changed. The project remains unfinished. The dream remains only an idea. The conversation never happened. The opportunity quietly disappears. Mental activity is not always real progress. Real progress requires movement. Even a small action teaches more than hours of endless imagination. The greatest opportunities in life rarely come with complete certainty. Every successful person has experienced moments when they had unanswered questions. They did not know exactly how everything would work out. They simply decided that learning through action was better than remaining trapped by endless doubt. Experience became their teacher because experience always reveals lessons that thinking alone never can. Fear wants guarantees before it allows you to begin. It demands proof that everything will work perfectly. But life has never offered such promises. Every achievement, every meaningful relationship, and every personal transformation begins with uncertainty. Waiting until you feel completely ready often means waiting forever, because there will always be another reason to delay, another possibility to consider, and another excuse that feels perfectly logical. Think about the dreams you have carried for years. Perhaps you wanted to start a business, write a book, change careers, learn a new skill, or follow a passion that has lived quietly inside your heart. How many of those dreams have been delayed? Not because you lacked ability, but because you believed you needed one more plan, one more course, one more opinion, or one more sign before taking the first step. The truth is that the first step itself often provides the answers you have been searching for. Preparation has a purpose, but preparation should eventually lead to action. A seed can remain safely inside its shell forever, but it will never become a tree until it breaks open and grows through the uncertainty of the soil. Human potential works the same way. Staying safe may protect you from failure, but it also protects you from growth, success, and fulfillment. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it should never become the place where your dreams are permanently stored. Ideas become reality only when they are matched with action. Courage does not mean acting without fear. Courage means refusing to let fear disguise itself as preparation for the rest of your life. The moment you recognize the difference, you begin to understand that endless thinking cannot build the future you desire. Only action can do that. Every step forward weakens fear and strengthens confidence. Every attempt teaches something valuable. Every experience makes you wiser. The life you are meant to live begins not when you have every answer, but when you decide that your dreams deserve movement more than endless analysis. Every great achievement begins with a decision to move forward. It does not begin with perfect thoughts or complete confidence or the absence of fear. Many people spend years believing that if they could only think more positively or eliminate every doubt, they would finally be ready to pursue their dreams. They wait for a magical moment when their minds are completely free of uncertainty. That moment rarely comes because the human mind naturally produces questions, worries, and possibilities. What truly shapes your future is not every thought that enters your mind, but every action you choose to take despite those thoughts. Your thoughts are powerful, but they are not permanent truths. They are often influenced by past experiences, disappointments, fears, and the opinions of others. A single negative thought can convince you that you are not talented enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. If you accept every thought as reality, you give your fears control over your future. But thoughts are simply mental events. They come and go like clouds passing across the sky. They only gain power when you believe they have the authority to decide what you can or cannot become. Many successful people have admitted that they struggled with self-doubt before reaching their goals. They questioned themselves. They worried about failure. They wondered whether they were making the right choice. The difference was never that they had better thoughts than everyone else. The difference was that they refused to let those thoughts stop them from taking action. They understood that fear could ride beside them, but it could not be allowed to hold the steering wheel. Imagine someone standing at the bottom of a mountain, dreaming about reaching the top. They spend every day thinking about how difficult the climb might be. They imagine falling, becoming tired, or getting lost along the way. Weeks become months and months become years. The mountain never changes, but neither does their position, because thinking alone cannot carry anyone upward. Another person may have the same fears and the same doubts, yet chooses to take one step. That single step does not bring them to the top immediately, but it changes everything because they are no longer standing still. Every step after that becomes easier because movement creates momentum. Progress is not measured by how perfectly you think. Progress is measured by how consistently you act. You may not know every answer before you begin. You may not see the entire path ahead. That is completely normal, because life reveals the next step only after you take the current one. Waiting until the whole journey becomes visible often means never beginning at all. There is a common belief that successful people always feel motivated before they work. The truth is often the opposite. Action creates motivation for more often than motivation creates action. When you complete one small task, you feel encouraged to complete another. When you keep one promise to yourself, your confidence begins to grow. Every small victory sends a message to your mind that you are capable of more than you once believed. Your future is not built by the conversations you have inside your head. It is built by the habits you practice every day. Reading one chapter improves your knowledge. Exercising for 30 minutes strengthens your body. Saving a small amount each week builds financial stability. Writing one page each day eventually becomes a finished book. These actions may seem small in the beginning, but over time, they create extraordinary results that no amount of overthinking could ever produce. Uncertainty is not a sign that you should stop. It is a natural part of growth. Every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful had to step into situations where success was not guaranteed. They did not possess special certainty that others lacked. They simply accepted that uncertainty was the price of opportunity. They understood that staying where they were guaranteed one thing above all else, nothing would ever change. There will always be reasons to hesitate. Your mind will continue presenting possible risks and imagined failures. Some of those concerns may even be reasonable. But if you allow every fearful thought to determine your choices, you give away the power to shape your own life. Instead, learn to acknowledge those thoughts without allowing them to become commands. Let them exist while continuing to move forward. Confidence does not come from having perfect thoughts. Confidence grows every time you prove to yourself that you can act, even while uncertainty remains. Every action you take becomes evidence that you are stronger than your excuses. Every challenge you face teaches lessons that no amount of planning can provide. Every failure contains wisdom that prepares you for future success. People who eventually achieve remarkable things are not those who never doubted themselves. They are the ones who decided that their dreams were more important than their doubts. 1 year from now, your life will not be shaped by how many times you imagine success. It will be shaped by the choices you made today, tomorrow, and every day that followed. Your thoughts may inspire you or discourage you, but they do not write your destiny. Your daily actions hold that power. The moment you choose movement over hesitation, you begin creating a future that once existed only in your imagination. Even the smallest step taken with courage has more power than 1,000 perfect thoughts left trapped inside your mind. That is how real progress begins. It begins the moment you decide to move forward, even when the path ahead is uncertain, because action always opens doors that thinking alone never will. Many people spend their lives waiting for confidence to arrive before they begin. They believe successful people take action because they already feel brave, prepared, and certain about themselves. They imagine that one day they will wake up with complete confidence and finally have the courage to chase their dreams. But the truth is very different. Confidence is not something that appears before action. Confidence is something that is created through action. You become confident because you move forward, face challenges, learn from experiences, and prove to yourself that you are capable. Courage is often misunderstood. Many people think courage means having no fear. They believe courageous people never feel nervous, uncertain, or afraid. But real courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to continue even when fear is present. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has experienced moments of doubt. They have faced situations where they questioned their abilities and wondered whether they were making the right choice. The difference is that they did not wait for fear to disappear before taking action. They moved forward while carrying their fear with them. Think about the first time you learned something new, whether it was riding a bicycle, speaking in front of others, learning a skill, or trying something unfamiliar. You probably did not feel completely ready. You learned by doing. You made mistakes. You adjusted. You improved. Each attempt gave you more understanding and more confidence. The same principle applies to every area of life. You do not become ready and then take the first step. You take the first step, and that journey helps you become ready. Waiting until you feel prepared can become one of the biggest barriers between you and your dreams. There will always be another skill to learn, another problem to solve, or another reason to wait. If you allow yourself to believe that everything must be perfect before you begin, you may spend your entire life preparing for a moment that never comes. Growth happens when you enter situations that challenge you. Strength is built when you choose to move beyond your comfort zone. Imagine a person who wants to start a business, but keeps waiting because they do not know everything about success. They keep studying, planning, and researching, but never take action. Another person begins with limited knowledge, makes mistakes, learns from those mistakes, and improves over time. Years later, the second person is far ahead because experience became their greatest teacher. Knowledge is valuable, but knowledge without action remains only potential. Every small action you take sends a powerful message to yourself. When you complete a difficult task, you prove that you can handle challenges. When you overcome a small fear, you build the courage to face a bigger one. When you keep moving despite uncertainty, you develop trust in yourself. Confidence is created through these moments. It is built through every promise you keep to yourself and every obstacle you refuse to let defeat you. Many people underestimate the power of small beginnings. They think their first step must be huge and impressive. But every great journey begins with something simple. A successful person once had a first day. A skilled professional once had a first attempt. A powerful speaker once had a first nervous conversation. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who only dream about them is often the willingness to begin before they feel completely ready. You do not need to know exactly how everything will happen. You only need enough courage to take the next step. The path becomes clearer as you walk it. Opportunities appear when you show commitment. Lessons appear when you take risks. Confidence appears when you realize that you are stronger than you once believed. The voice of doubt may always exist, but it does not have to control your decisions. You can listen to your fears without obeying them. You can recognize uncertainty without allowing it to stop you. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you become a stronger version of yourself. Remember that confidence is not the requirement for courage. Courage is the foundation that creates confidence. You do not have to wait until you feel fearless. You do not have to wait until every doubt disappears. Start where you are, use what you have, and take the first step. The courage you need will grow with every move you make. The person you want to become is created through the actions you choose today. Extraordinary transformations rarely happen through one massive decision or one dramatic moment. They are created through small choices repeated consistently over time. Many people look at successful individuals and only see the final result. They see the achievements, the recognition, and the success, but they often do not see the thousands of small actions that created that outcome. Behind every great accomplishment is a collection of simple habits, daily efforts, and decisions that seemed insignificant in the beginning, but became powerful through consistency. People often underestimate the power of small actions because they want immediate results. They want change to happen quickly, and they become discouraged when they do not see progress instantly. But true transformation does not happen overnight. A tree does not grow tall in a single day. It grows through countless moments when it receives sunlight, water, and care. Human growth works the same way. Every positive decision you make is like planting a seed for the future you want to create. A single action may not appear life-changing, but repeated actions create powerful results. Reading a few pages every day can eventually transform your knowledge. Saving a small amount of money regularly can create financial security. Exercising for a short time each day can completely change your health and energy. Spending a few minutes improving a skill can lead to opportunities you never imagined. The secret is not the size of the action, but the consistency behind it. Many people wait for the perfect moment to change their lives. They believe they need more time, more resources, more motivation, or better circumstances before they begin. But transformation begins when you decide to start with what you have. The first step may feel small, but it creates momentum. Once you begin moving forward, each action becomes easier because you develop discipline, confidence, and belief in yourself. Success is not built by occasional effort. It is built by commitment. Anyone can work hard for one day, Anyone can feel motivated for 1 week. The real challenge is continuing when motivation disappears. The people who achieve lasting success understand that habits are more powerful than temporary feelings. They create systems that help them keep moving even when they do not feel inspired. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you want to become. When you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your character. When you choose learning over distraction, you expand your abilities. When you choose patience over frustration, you develop emotional strength. These decisions may seem small in the moment, but over time, they shape your identity and determine the direction of your life. Think about the power of a single drop of water. One drop seems meaningless, but millions of drops can create rivers and oceans. In the same way, one small positive action may seem insignificant, but thousands of consistent actions can completely transform your future. The life you desire is not created by one perfect choice. It is created by the accumulation of many good choices repeated again and again. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be moments when you question whether your efforts are making a difference. During those times, remember that growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. A seed spends time developing roots before anyone sees it becoming a plant. Your efforts are working even when the results are not immediately visible. The greatest transformations happen when you stop focusing only on the destination and start respecting the process. Every day gives you an opportunity to improve something. You do not have to change your entire life in one moment. You only need to make one better decision today than you made yesterday. Small improvements repeated over time create remarkable results. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly do. The habits you build, the choices you make, and the actions you take each day become the foundation of your success. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. A small step taken every day will always take you further than a huge step taken once and forgotten. Remember that greatness is not created through sudden miracles. It is created through dedication, patience, and the courage to keep going. One decision can change your direction. One habit can change your lifestyle. One day of commitment can become the beginning of a completely different future. The person you want to become is built through the actions you choose today. Keep showing up. Keep improving. Keep moving forward. Because small actions, when repeated with belief and determination, have the power to create extraordinary transformations. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that the biggest obstacle standing between you and the life you desire is not your circumstances, your past, or even your fears. The biggest obstacle is often the hesitation that keeps you from taking the first step. Overthinking can make you believe that you need more time, more preparation, or more certainty before you begin. But the truth is that clarity often comes through action. You discover your strength when you move forward, not when you remain trapped in endless thoughts. Your thoughts may create doubts, but they do not have the power to decide your future. Your future is shaped by the choices you make and the actions you take every single day. You do not have to wait until you feel completely confident, because confidence is created through experience. Every step you take builds courage. Every challenge you face teaches you something. Every small victory reminds you that you are capable of more than you once believed. Remember that courage is not about having no fear. Courage is about refusing to allow fear to control your decisions. The people who achieve great things are not those who never experience uncertainty. They are the people who choose to move forward even when the path is unclear. They understand that progress does not require perfection. It requires commitment, patience, and the willingness to begin. Never underestimate the power of small actions. The life you dream about is not created in a single moment. It is created through small decisions repeated consistently. One positive habit can change your direction. One brave decision can open a new door. One small action taken today can become the foundation of a better tomorrow. Success is not built through waiting for the perfect opportunity. Success is built by creating opportunities through continuous effort. There will always be moments when you question yourself. There will always be challenges that test your patience and situations that make you wonder if you are on the right path. During those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remember that growth takes time. A strong foundation is built slowly, and lasting success requires dedication. Do not judge your journey by how quickly you arrive. Judge it by how consistently you continue. The future you want is waiting for the person you are becoming. Every day you have a choice. You can remain trapped in fear and endless thinking, or you can choose courage and action. You can continue imagining the life you want, or you can begin creating it. The difference between a dream and a reality is the willingness to take that first step and continue taking the next one. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop searching for a guarantee that does not exist. Trust yourself enough to begin. Take action even when you feel uncertain. Build your confidence through experience. Create your future through the decisions you make today. Your journey does not need to be perfect. It only needs to move forward. A single step may seem small, but every great transformation begins with one step. Keep believing, keep growing, and keep taking action, because the life you are capable of creating is far greater than the fears trying to hold you back.